Hi, it's Scott. ROCKFILE back with another podcast review for you. Going to talk about a 1995 Hong Kong movie that's never been released in the United States until now. Oh, it's called The Adventurers. I had never seen this before, never heard of it. I really like the title, and I'm like, ooh, maybe it's like an Indiana Jones thing. It wasn't. This is the last movie directed by Ringo Lam before he left Hong Kong to start working with Jean-Claude Van Damme on 3 movies like Maximum Risk. Stars Andy Lau, Rosamund Kwan. They were pretty big stars at the time. Everybody in the movie does great. Oh, it's got, his name escapes me, David Wong, who... Big Trouble in Little China guy. He was in here. This just under 2-hour movie came out in August of 1995. Won a bunch of awards. For some reason, it was filmed all over. They filmed it in multiple countries. It's a very interesting story. I didn't know much of the background, so I learned something here. And in the end, it's called your typical action movie. It's not. Yes, there's some big action scenes in it that Ringo Lam is known for, but this was actually a really good movie that allowed Andy Lau to do some major acting. Plus, he sang the title over the end credits. Turns out Andy Lau was a big singer as well. So if you're a fan of 1995 or mid-90s action movies, this will sit well with you. And the idea that it seems very simple. In the beginning, we see 1975, a young man watches his family killed by people that are taking over the country or whatever. Then, as an adult, he's in the military. He starts working for the CIA, so to speak, with help from the CIA anyway. And he goes to get retribution. Now, that sounds like a typical movie that we would make today, a John Wick or a Bullet Train or whatever, but it's not. There are some big action scenes. Ringo Lam really shows that he's very good. He also showed that he can film in multiple countries because he had his eye on international cinema. I got a lot more movie than I was expecting. I was expecting a lot of great action scenes, and there is a war scene where a place gets bombed that's pretty intense. The actors seem to be in danger anyway. I thought the acting was good throughout the film. I thought the story carried it well. It gets into some gray areas. I don't want to give anything away. This is my first Eureka disc. I was placing an order with the Atomic Movie Store, one of my favorite boutique sellers right now. $50 and it's free shipping, and a lot of the special editions are 40 plus or whatever, so it's easy to get free shipping with the guy. This was not that expensive. It's only on Blu-ray. It just received a new 2K restoration, so it's restored for Blu-ray by Eureka and the people behind it. It's got some interesting extras, a 20-minute extra conversation with a film historian and a 10-minute conversation with another film person from Hong Kong that's subtitled, but the first part is in English. The soundtrack is in multiple ways. There's an unrestored mono soundtrack. There is also a restored stereo soundtrack and a restored 5.1 soundtrack, which is what I listened to, which was great. I did watch it with the English subtitles, which are also newly created for this version of the film, and everything seemed accurate to my ears, especially when there were a few times that they spoke English. Not only did the lips match up, but what they said was correctly written in the subtitles. So anyway, you get into a little gangland stuff, you get into a little military stuff, you get into kidnappings, you get into betrayals and all that kind of stuff, things coming back to people 20 years, 2 decades later when their lives have changed. There's a lot more to this action film than you think. It runs for over 2 hours. You don't get bored because, like I said, they do a little country hopping for a while, and you really get into what the motivations of the characters and such. It almost lost me a couple times as it would jump from an action scene to a bigger plot point that I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, oh, that's right, that's where we were. But all in all, I think we can see why Ringo Lam went on to bigger things after this. I also didn't realize he passed away in 2018. I knew he went back to Hong Kong and kind of went back and forth, but he had directed a lot of Asian cinema in the early 21st century, and I hadn't kept up because, like a lot of the Asian directors that came over here, especially the Hong Kong directors, they went back to their home country because American cinema is a little bit different, and some did well, some not so well. Anyway, The Adventurers. I still don't know what the title has to do with anything. They're not really adventurers. That's I don't know, if I were to compare it to a foreign film, it's more like Infernal Affairs that was made into The Departed. Anyway, I thought it was really good. I thought the action scenes are handled really well. There's a lot of drama, a lot of acting, a lot of a lot of carrying on. It's a well-made film and deserves, as the film historian and one of the extras said, deserves a second look. Because, again, they were planning to release this around the world and didn't. It didn't really get out of Hong Kong. So it's been sitting on a shelf for the most part for 30 years. They restored it, put it out on Blu-ray, and now people can revisit it. I would recommend it if you're a fan of foreign cinema and Ringo Lam. This is one of his better films. So check it out. The Adventurers is now available from Eureka. Just came out in 2025. First time you can get it outside of Hong Kong. Check it out. I'm Scott. I'm ROCKFILE. More podcasts on the way. Oh, it looked and sounded fine for what it was. It's a little grainy, but it certainly looked better than I expected, if that makes any sense. And the soundtrack was fine. It's a modern remake of the soundtrack. Really good. All in all, I think it's a Blu-ray worth picking up. You get about 20, 30 minutes of extras. And a nice booklet that explains some things about not only the making of the film, but where all the people came from and what they did after. This was actually a pretty stacked movie behind the camera as well. I'm Scott. I'm ROCKFILE. I hope you have a spectacular day. Please like, share, and subscribe, and go watch a movie.